Okay, so I'm AB, and I'm one of the co-founders, and I'm here to talk about Subnet. And Subnet is basically an experience that paying customers get, right? So one of the common questions is, you are 100% open source, and how do you make money? This is basically about the Subnet experience, right? And what is Subnet? Subnet is basically how customers primarily interact with us. And why we built Subnet? So first, before going into that question of like why customers pay us, right? It's 100% open source. Why do you even need to pay us, right? By the time they come to us, they are expert on our product. They have been using it for some time, and they often know even more than us on the use cases. So they come to us because it's hitting production, and it's a critical part of the infrastructure. They are not coming to us because they want help with installation, things like that. MinIO is so simple that you don't need our help to even bring things up, right? You are coming to us because we are in production and we are a critical part of your business. And that's when they are really thinking about paying, right? Proprietary or open source, I find this to be a universal truth. In any product lifecycle, you will find that until this condition is met, no amount of pre-sales, like sales engineers on field, demos, it doesn't help. It has to go to production. It has to be a critical part of the business. If you don't meet both the conditions, you may be in production but not critical. Like you saw, people are not willing to pay for Docker, right? But if it is critical, they are willing to pay. And it has to be in production. Critical, not in production, not ready to pay, right? And then when they come to us, so specifically these two conditions are met, but why pay for MinIO? They're only worried about two things. I don't want to lose data. I don't want my data to be breached, right? In fact, more I realize talking to customers, they think about data breach is a bigger vulnerability for them than data loss, because data loss they can still apologize, but a data breach, it's a huge business problem for them because it's customer data they often talking about. And at that point, now when you engage with us, what is that you are getting from us? We are finding that the heart of the problem is now it's no longer about license keys, right? The license keys are a poor way to build business relationship. They actually are coming to us because they want us to be an extended part of the team. We are the developers, they are the ops team, and they want to have the public cloud-like experience. And that's what Subnet really is about. If you are ops and I'm dev, if we are really separate, the traditional world, when we evaluated like Zendesk and Salesforce support, like a whole bunch of these support systems, they were like so backward. Customers found public Slack channel was even better, right? And you put in a request, and then a technician is assigned to you. The traditional model is like, say, even a premium 4-hour response time, a level 1 technician answering you based on a knowledge base. And our kind of like users, the modern cloud native users, they're experts. And they get upset talking to a level 1 technician. They want the first response to come from the guy who probably created that bug, right? I know what my problem is. I'm talking to you. Can you explain to me what the problem is? And they want everything to be real time. And they want everything to be continuous. There was no way for us to connect with the customers, and the traditional support systems were actually a wall between us and them. And for me, we put all this effort into building a product, but without we connecting with the customer, customers cannot feel us as an extended part of their team. We let them down. That's where we started investing in Subnet, and Subnet is a software answer to connecting with the customer and handling them at very large scale, and it's 24/7, right? And the Subnet itself is not the whole equation. You cannot possibly take Subnet and solve all the problems. Like for example, most commonly customers actually ask, can you actually release Subnet as a separate product? Some customers say, I want other vendors to give them Subnet experience. There's some customers are saying, I want to use for our own internal IT. My problem is that it's not the Subnet itself. You need to have the team's culture, and you have to have a product that is capable of self-supporting, right? And this is where, I told you about this, for example, strictly consistent, like lightweight and stateless and things like that. That when a product is so simple, bulk of the problems are easier. If product is so hard, we cannot even commit to 24/7 real time. We will be draining ourselves too thin and we will fail as an organization. When you have a product that is so simple, Echo will show a demo, but it is a product built for a modern cloud native world that is so simple, combined with subnet experience, customers are willing to pay. And actually, this is a kind of, I don't see this as a bold move, this is just a common sense move, but actually it is very hard for you to get a list price of any of the storage vendor, right? I think if we have to give public cloud experience to customers, you have to be transparent about everything. This is coming live very soon. Customers are saying that I want subnet experience all the way to pre-sales. Most of we own the shadow IT, basically the application world in the enterprise. They actually don't want to talk to salespeople. They want to actually buy object storage just like how they buy object storage from Amazon S3. And the subnet will now be extended so they can even put in their credit card. When you pay like 10K, 20K a month, over a year, you see, right? It's actually a nice size deal. But for petascale, like most often they are actually like $1 million deals. They directly talk to us, but everything else?
I'm worried about scalability on that when you're, because we saw the numbers that are downloading it from GitHub.
Yes.
So, for instance, if they start hitting, with more and more people hitting bugs and
yes.
Feature integration and so on and so forth, your L4 is going to be
yes.
swamped with dealing with fixing those
yes.
rather
yes.
than developing the new product.
Yes.
So you're going to end up getting yourself into a downward spiral. Is it all, so that's one thing. And the other thing is it all manual? Is it all human response via that subnet channel? Or is there some automation? Is there some, like a wiki that is pulled for answers for some of the more standard recurring problems?
Yeah. So this is why other companies don't want to solve the problem like this, so they start building walls between, right? But for us, end of the day, when your system is down, and if I took 4 hours for a level 1 technician to respond, we lost the business. Right? We have to solve this problem. That's not a choice, right? But how did we solve the problem? It is where that fundamentally different thinking. If you found a simple solution to a complex problem, you can solve these problems. If I have something so complicated, I'm going to drown myself. I can't think about such an experience. You will see that, like say for example, like our public Slack channel, right? 6,000 plus members, and effortlessly we are able to handle this. And if you see the number of GitHub issues opened and closed, the number of releases we made, EMC, NetApp, all the pure storage, all of them put together are nowhere closer to our ability to respond even to community. The scale at which we have, completely ignoring the paying customers, the rate at which the new releases happen and the stability of the product, every way we are way ahead. That's the proof that it's already happening. Why it is happening is because the product is fundamentally designed to solve these problems in a simpler way. That like the minimalist approach is basically helping us. So like in the demo, I will show you even simple things like when there's a bug, right, it will tell you exactly which line of the code where it is, what caused the bug. We found that 80% of the problem is actually finding what went wrong, not fixing it. Fixing it is quite easy, and by designing the product in a way and subnet focused on fixing the issue, everything becomes a level 4. There is no level 1, level 2, level 3.
So you just gave everybody a level 4 title then, did you? That was a simple solution.
Yes, and who are those people? The guys who created the bugs, right? So, but they shouldn't be wasting time on bad drives and things like that. That is a software problem. The product has to fix it.
That should come into your pipeline before you release it. So
yes.
And the blue testing, for instance, and so on.
And in fact, the product itself takes care of these kind of issues. When the drive dies, erasure code to strict consistency. If the product is simple, you hardly lose data. Then I found that if you found what went wrong, then fixing is whose job? Engineer's job. So essentially, engineers became support. They are supposed to do this anyway. In fact, subnet, the way we designed it is, it shouldn't go to one engineer. One engineer, possibly, even if I wrote that code, I cannot possibly be the best person to resolve it all the time. There are some guys who are really good at troubleshooting, understanding customer environment. So we found that subnet is about collaborative way to solve the problem. Echo, can you show us a
and really
demo?
Quick, why is it called subnet? subscription network.
Previously, I thought I will call it ozone. It's like a protection layer around MinIO. And then people thought, hey, you know, ozone is a toxic gas. It was a name I couldn't find a better name.
Okay.
Subnet is basically, actually where it came from is subscription network.
Okay, cool, perfect.
So Subnet is designed to be a real-time chat interface, much like Slack, except that Slack only gives you a single pane of glass against a particular issue, whereas with Subnet, we can break you down into separate issues. I can search all of my issues at once and say, hey, which issues did this string appear in? And then I can go back and
Echo, you called yourself a support engineer.
Yes.
Are you a developer as well? Are you developing code for the product?
No, I am the support engineer.
There's one support engineer for all of MinIO?
Correct. So more
Are
of
you
what
on
I'm
call
doing.
for the rest of your life?
What's that?
Are you on call for the rest of your life?
I am and I'm not, because the engineers are the ones that are answering the direct questions. I'm doing more routing and more strategic. How do we handle support as a whole?
Actually, Echo is just humble. Echo is the lead for the support. You always want one neck to choke. So Echo. So if customers are not happy, you are the guy I'm going to hold responsible. But everybody in the organization is part of support. But engineers are the one doing the job.
The biggest challenge with support like this is trying to determine what the problem is.
Yes. So I'll go ahead.
Trying to recover is also an aspect, but trying to recreate the problem so that it can be resolved.
Yes. So I'll go over that in just a moment. But so part of our philosophy with MinIO is to only log things that are critical. So we don't have a bunch of noise in the logs. By only logging what's critical, if you put that into Subnet, somebody's going to be able to look at the code and see almost immediately what's going on. So here is just a demo issue showing us interacting. Customers will often put in code snippets. We'll take a look at their code, tell them if it's going to integrate well with MinIO, et cetera. So to your point about how do we see what's going on, any customer that wants to can set all of their clusters to point to Subnet, and then we can take a look at your logs in real time. So for example, one of my clusters ran out of disks being online. 2 or more of the servers went offline in a 4-node cluster. Then it lets me know immediately, and we can proactively take a look at that, let the customer know, hey, you've got a problem before they even know it. Okay. In addition to that, we have something called the panic button. I'm not going to use it because this actually alerts all engineers all at once across our total global infrastructure. Yeah, every time I demo this, people, come on, just do it, just do it. But yeah, this will alert every engineer, and I can tell you it works because the 2 times it's been used have been wrong. There was not a panic. Customers
Your phone blow up.
What's that?
Does your phone blow up?
Phones blow up, notifications on computers, everything goes off. It's basically red alert, red alarms for everybody.
How does this work if the customer has an air-gapped network for their environment?
They don't have to use it.
Don't have to use it?
Yeah.
But this gives you direct telemetry of their environment.
If they so desire.
By choice.
By choice.
Where do you guys run this? Do you have like your own data center, or do you run it like an
Yeah,
AWS?
so we run it in the cloud.
Okay.
Okay.
In AWS?
GCP.
Yeah. We don't want AWS going down and our customers stuck.